I ask people to ask me any question, and Nick's asked this: Who or what was your primary inspiration to write science fiction, in particular the Squashbuckler Diaries, and why? So, this is it. First of all, writing science fiction, that's a whole another thing, so we can talk about that another time. Writing the Squashbuckler Diaries 12 years ago. 12 years ago. I was a new father. My first newborn kid was just a month old, and we went to have a checkup, and she cried, and I felt so bad for her. And I felt that I loved her so much that I knew I wanted to write about that love of a father to a daughter. So I invented the world in that instant where a father raises his daughter in his dream. She only lives in his dream. And then I invented the tragic element where he's only there when he's asleep, and when he's awake, she's alone. Not only is she alone, he doesn't remember she exists. Okay? And then I invented her entire freaking life from birth to death because I wanted to convey what I feel would be my fatherhood, her childhood, and our love over the decades. And by the time I was out of the doctor's office, I already had the entire story built in, created with all the twists that even now you can't expect and you're not going to see coming, and all the different stuff that's going to happen. And that's how that started. And it led to a graphic novel, which I self published, and then another graphic novel in a store. Oh, that's a long story. A comic book store for the blind and the visually impaired. That's another long story. And then I figured out how to do it in a book. So I started writing one book for every 3 years of her life. And I felt that's not enough because I have to describe her entire life. So I started having daily episodes about her life in between the books as she grows up. In the dream, what is that life like? Because I want to describe my now I have three daughters, my three daughters' lives, and the books are dedicated to them, and everything's taken from them and from my own childhood, and that's how the Lost in Dreams universe became to be, with the Lost in Dreams books and the Squashbuckler Diaries. Thank you for asking. I'm taking more questions. Any question you want from a science fiction fantasy author, I will answer.